Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Luki Gomez, and as always, or recently anyway, with this series of YouTube videos that I'm making, I am following the Billboard Year-in Hot 100 Singles list of 1970. It's very exciting. And if you've been following, we've done, we've done from this list, we did number 3, which is American Woman. And that's Guess Who? All of these are 1970. And then we've done War, which is number 5. And that's performed by a young man in his day, Edwin Starr. And then we did I think it was number 20. Yes, number 20. Spill the Wine with Eric Burton and War. And today we are doing number 23 by a singer who really went in my musical radar of the 1970s. She just was not there, which is really weird because I was totally into female vocalists, but I guess I got blinded by Joni Mitchell. Once I heard Joni Mitchell and her voice, I just fell in love with her music, and pretty much she was a great role model for me in terms of learning to play the guitar and singing by learning her songs and singing her songs. This artist, Melanie, went completely unnoticed or non-interest on my part, even though I was familiar with some of her work, Now, the song that we're talking about here is number 23, and it is called Lay Down, Candles in the Rain. Now, this is an amazing song, you guys. Hold on, excuse me. Let me just... Okay, there we go. I forgot to turn on the fan, the ceiling fan, so that I could have a little bit of a nice breeze, because it is, the afternoon sun comes right through my windows. And it's going to be really nice and any day now, any time now, any minute now. So anyway, to do this video and preparing to talk about this video, I learned a lot of stuff about her, a lot of really interesting info about her. She was a cute young woman when she did this song. Her full name is Melanie Ann Savka Shekarik. I hope I didn't destroy that. Shekarik. And she was born in 1947. And she died in 2024. So she's already passed on. She was an amazing singer, songwriter, guitarist, because she played the guitar. She was influenced by folk music, Arlo Guthrie, and her mother, let's see here. Her mom was a jazz singer. I think if I look in the part, I'm taking all of this information from Wikipedia, and in under her early life, her mom was a jazz singer, and her dad, she grew up in Queens, in a neighborhood in Queens, and her father, he was Russian Ukrainian, which I thought was kind of interesting, and her mother was a jazz singer. She was of Italian heritage. And she really encouraged her daughter to sing and perform, which is exactly what Melanie ended up doing. She became, a singer-songwriter. And we're talking like the 60s, I know that before Candles in the Rain, Lay Down, Candles in the Rain, before that song, she had done some other songs. I think she did Look What They've Done to My Song. She did a few others. So she was somewhat known by the time Woodstock came along. Woodstock, it's a beautiful story that she tells. Okay, she was 22. Woodstock was in 1969, and it was in August. And it was a 3-day event. Over 400,000 young people went to this festival, which was in a farm in New York. The farm was called Woodstock, I think, or the town was called Woodstock. 400,000 people. If you look at any videos or photographs of this event, the amount of people there is just amazing. And it was called, or billed as, titled as 3 Days of Peace and Music. So earlier we were talking about make love, not peace. Not war, make love, not war. Well, here it was peace and music, right? It's a make music, not war. And make love, not war. Okay, so that was the sentiment of the time, of those years, 69, 70, right in the cusp of that whole movement, 1970. All of the stuff that we're looking at, a lot of that stuff was written in 1969 or was influenced in 1969, and this was a big influence for Melanie, because what happened, she was a young woman. She was like 22 years old, and she was somewhat well known, but a lot of people didn't know who she was. Most people didn't really know who she was. And so interesting how the folks who were organizing Woodstock invited her to perform in Woodstock. And she didn't really want to go, She just felt like, why would I want to go to Woodstock? It has nothing to do with me. Because she really wasn't, she was more of a folk singer, right? Even though Bob Dylan was a folk singer. He started with folk. So, and it was a big deal when he went from acoustic to electric, but that's another story. So anyway, but her mom said, no, you have to go. It's a performance, go. And they had a helicopter pick her up. And she wanted her mom to go with her, but they told her that no, it was that her mom couldn't come, that she was invited to go, but that her mom was not. It was just for her. So she got on this helicopter, and she was supposed to perform the first day. There were 3 days. She was performing that first evening, which was I think it was August 15th or 16th, 15th. And she talks about when she was flying over the festival, she just saw this massive group of people down there, and she got really scared, and she was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. But she was already on this flight going there on this helicopter day. She landed on one of the fields in the back that they had for the musicians. And she was alone, and she did not know anybody. And she was by herself with her guitar. And she was really nervous. And she was backstage waiting her turn, and I think she was supposed to come out at 7, and then they didn't call her. 8 came along, 9 came along, 10 came along, until finally they called her. She performed right after Ravi Shankar that night. And by that time, she was super nervous, and it was raining. It had started to rain, so it was raining pretty hard. And she went out there, but she was talking about that the moment that she was walking towards the stage, or she was getting ready to walk out, she kind of left her body. She talks about how she had this like strange experience, probably because she was so scared and nervous, that's what happened to her. And it was really interesting. She said that she walked out, and then she looked out into darkness, because by then it was 11 o'clock at night. It was dark, and she's looking out, and all she can see are these little flames all over. And they were candles. People were lighting candles to stay warm, to have light, because it was dark and it was raining. And so she started seeing all these candles flaring. And that's when she thought of Candles in the Rain and the whole energy of what was going on in Woodstock. Somehow, being so young and naive, she understood what was going on. So she performed what she was performing, which I really don't know what she performed. I forgot to look it up. But, and then, when she left Woodstock, she already had this song in her mind. And so she had a friend, and let me see here, where is he? He's thinking their names are over here. Oh gosh, I don't remember, but she had a friend, and she told her friend about this amazing song that she wanted to do. And because she had been so inspired by the event the previous night, and she wrote down the lyrics, and she wanted to do the performance with a gospel band, a gospel group singing in the background. Well, eventually she managed to get that. She managed to do that. That girl, she was like, it's almost like she was destined to write this and do this. And I'm probably, all of us who talk about this are playing a part in this. Because the lyrics of this song are really captivating, and the choir that performed with her was a choir that was called the Edwin Hawkins Singers. And Edwin Hawkins was a composer, from what I understand. Let me see here. I had some information on him here. He was an American gospel musician, pianist, choir master, composer, and arranger. And so by the time Melanie was wanted to, do this song and was looking for a choir, he had a choir, and they did the choir with Melanie. And you can go on YouTube and you can see many YouTube videos of this performance. They did quite a few of them. And then there's a lot of stuff on Melanie. She did a lot of music. This 1970 was just like part of the repertoire of stuff that she did. I have added, or I will add, a playlist of her music. The albums are harder to come by, but I managed to put a playlist together, and it'll be listed on this YouTube channel right below where these videos are posted. There'll be a section right below it, and it'll have Melanie's playlist there with her music if you want to check it out. Okay, so this song, this music, Lay Down Candles in the Rain, it's called. And it's 1970. And I'm going to try my very best to read these lyrics to you guys, so that I can, bring the feeling out for it. Remember, this is a 22-year-old young woman who's writing this stuff, okay? So she goes, lay down, lay it all down. Let your white bird smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Lay down, lay down, let it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. And then the next stanza says, we were so close, there was no room. We bled inside each other's wounds. We all had caught the same disease. And we all sang the songs of peace. Now, obviously, she's in Woodstock, so she's making reference here to, we were so close, there was no room. People were packed. If you look at these pictures, I mean, just take a look. I think there's even some movies that have been made of Woodstock. And when she says, we bled inside each other's wounds, they were all there for a reason. They were escaping. They were trying to find a new way, trying to create a new path. You know, like the same thing as you know, a lot of the stuff. You know, with what happened in San Francisco, the Summer of Love. You know, it was, and that was like in '67, I think it was, wasn't it? And so, you know, this was the tone of this generation. Everybody is talking about this stuff, right? Everybody's being influenced by the wounds of war. We all had caught the same disease. And we all sang the song of peace. The same disease, you know, that whole thing of like the frustration, the what we say in Spanish, la pena, the worry, the weight hanging over everybody because of this Vietnam War, and the young men going off to fight this war. You know, brothers, fathers, sons, husbands, etc. Right? So everybody was feeling that, you know. And then she goes back to the chorus. Lay down, let it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Lay down, let it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. And so here she's like, so raise the candles high. Now this whole candles in the rain came from that first image before she started her performance at Woodstock. And it was 11 o'clock at night and it's dark, but she sees these candles. And from what she was saying, this is where the tradition of when you go to a concert, you put your lighter, or, you know, people started lighting candles in the lighter, really, because candles are kind of dangerous in closed spaces. There they were outside. That's where that tradition started, was in Woodstock. And she did this song just out of what she felt by seeing that, right? So raise your candles high, because if you don't, we could stay black against the night. Oh, raise them higher again, and if you do, we could stay dry against the rain. So like the candles begin to symbolize a hope of light, of finding the light, the hope of having the spiritual light come down on you and bring peace. It's very, very spiritual, very, you know, I wouldn't say religious, but definitely a very spiritual idea there. If we look at it in those terms, you know, if you don't raise your candle high, we'll stay black against the night. if you don't raise your hope, if you don't believe in your dreams and what you want to achieve, you'll stay black against the night. So she says, so raise them higher again, you know. And if you do, we could stay dry against the rain. We could stay safe against this pain that's coming to us with this war and this heavy pena, la pena, this worry, this weight that we're carrying that's from being at war. That's how I interpret it. So then she goes, lay down, let it all down. Let your white bird smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Lay down, lay it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. We were so close. There was no room. We bled inside each other's wounds. We all had caught the same disease, and we all sang the songs of peace. Some came to sing, some came to pray, some came to keep the dark away. So raise the candles high, 'cause if you don't, we could stay black against the sky. Raise the candles high, and if you do, we could stay dry against the rain. And then again repeating, lay down, lay it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Lay down, let it all down. Let the white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Lay down, lay it all down. Let your white birds smile up at the ones who stand and frown. Now, when she's singing this chorus lines, when she's singing these chorus lines, sometimes it's hard to understand. Her voice is just so powerful, and she's, you know, it's very raw. Her voice is really raw, and her guitar playing also is not all nice and neat like Joni Mitchell. You know, Joni Mitchell was a very controlled artist and a very perfectionist in her art form, and everything had a plan, and it was laid out. Her music, it was precise, and it was, you know, the words, the lyrics were there where they needed to be. With Melanie, it's not that she's all over the place, but she's a free spirit, honestly. And that's really what I love about her, you know. It's like being so young and being in Woodstock. She might have been the youngest artist at Woodstock. I don't know, but and they don't really talk a lot about her when you go into to Woodstock. I mean, they talk a lot about the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song that they wrote about Woodstock. We are stardust. We are. Let's see, how does it go? We are stardust. Yeah. We've got to. Back to the Garden or something like that. It's called. It's a Woodstock song. It's the official Woodstock song. But I really do feel that this song is way more superior in its message and in the imagery, you know, of the candles in the rain, which they really were there. Because people were using them to stay dry, and they were there for a reason, for peace. That everybody, these 400,000 people were there for that reason. No other. Oh, and then the music, of course. It was 3 days of music. So everybody who was anybody was there, including Melanie, who was really not a nobody. Most people didn't know who she was. Okay? So you guys, that's it. I don't have anything else more to say, you know. I feel like this song is it's just so on to the point. with the whole movement of the late 60s and what into the 70s things begin to change. But here we're in 1970, so 69 was Woodstock. So she's 23 on this list. Let's see, 22. Let's see who's before her. Spirit in the Sky, Norman Greenbaum. I had thought of doing that one, but I was more interested in Melanie at that point. Spirit in the Sky is a really good song too. Number 22. So anyway, she's just three steps down from Eric Burden and War. So anyway, that's that's it. There's not much else to say about it. Just listen to her stuff. I'm gonna put the playlist in my YouTube channel. It'll be right below where these videos are. There will be a section right below that has the albums, and there you can find Eric Burton's album. Oh, it's really good. Take a listen to that album. It's fantastic. I think you'll really enjoy it. And the same with it was great, and the same of course with not Simon and Garfunkel, the Guess Who and Edwin Starr. Okay, the Guess Who, American Woman, and Edwin Starr with War. Especially Edwin Starr with War. I think all those three. Let me look at my channel. I'll tell you right now. I should take a look at it. Here we go. Let's see. Who do I have there? Yeah. Oh, I see. I just have Edwin Starr, the Guess Who. Yeah. I have John Lennon. Okay, so I have to put in Eric Burton and Melanie. So they'll be on there. But those other guys are on there if you want to listen to some of their music. Okay, and John Lennon is there too. All right. Okay, guys, gosh, thank you for visiting. I hope you find this video interesting. I feel like the whole idea of it, of the lyrics of Lay Down Candles in the Rain, written by Melanie, and with this this incredible choir group that Edwin Hawkins had back in the day. It sounds so beautiful. It sounds very powerful, and it's a total worth energy to continue on with the peace and love movement. Take care, guys. Adios.